What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today we're taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of January 2019. That's crazy to think it's already 2019. That's nuts. As with all my other sit or sell videos, what we do is we take a look at the biggest sneaker releases in that time frame and I let you guys know whether I think each shoe is going to sit on shelves or sell out. As usual, don't take my word as law. Sneaker releases have a tendency to change, so you never know when a shoe is actually going to come out until pretty much right before it drops. And guessing whether a sneaker is going to sell out or sit on shelves is definitely not an exact science, and it's just based on my own personal opinion about the shoe and how I think people feel about the sneaker. So don't base your buying decisions off what I say in this video. Buy a sneaker because you like it and not because some random dude on the internet told you to. So without further ado, let's rush right into January 1st. See what I did there? Lamar Jackson rushing. Stupid joke. The first shoe to drop on January 1st is the Air Force One Low Floral. This sneaker comes with a primarily black nylon upper with floral prints all the way around it. And as someone who actually really likes floral prints on shoes, I think it's a nice looking sneaker. I'm not really big on nylon as a sneaker upper material. I definitely prefer leather, but I think it's still a nice looking sneaker overall. Because of the fact that it has a special edition print, that leads me to believe that it's a more limited sneaker. However, I don't think the hype is too crazy on this shoe. So what I'll say is I think the sneaker is probably going to sell out in the sneakers app because absolutely everything sells out in the sneakers app, but I don't think it's going to be that hard to find in stores, so I think I'm going to give this shoe a sit. Already rounding off the first, we've got the Adidas EQT ATV Support Mid. There's not much to be said about this sneaker. It's an EQT Support ATV. I don't think anyone's too excited about it, so for that reason, I'm going to give it a sit. Moving on to January 2nd, we've got two sneakers releasing. The first is an Air Max 2 Light in crimson, racer blue, and gold. And it's not a bad looking sneaker by any means, but it definitely has that sort of primary color vibe to it, which I'm not really a fan of. The paneling on the upper though is pretty interesting and it's something that I like, but I don't think a lot of people are too excited about this sneaker, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. And then again, quickly rounding off the second, we've got the Jordan Westbrook Why Not 0.2 in multicolor. I'm so torn on this sneaker. It's so crazy and it's so out there that I'm kind of drawn to it and I want to check it out and see how it is. But at the same time, I'm not really a huge fan of the Westbrook sneakers. I don't really like the aesthetic of them. And this one is in a similar vein where it's almost too much and it's almost too like, I can't describe it. It's crazy. I will say this. I think it's a step in the right direction for the Westbrook line because it's definitely an interesting sneaker and it's getting people talking, which at the end of the day is just great marketing. I'm not totally sure if I'm going to pick up this shoe for a review. I don't know if that's something you guys are interested in. So if you are, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know. But overall, an interesting looking sneaker, especially in that colorway. And as we've seen with other first versions of sneakers, which tend to sell out, I think this sneaker might go in the same path. And I think because it's the very first Jordan Westbrook 0.2 and because the colorway is so different, I think there's a chance that it could sell. Moving on to January 3rd, we've got the dad sneaker release of the year, the Air Monarch 4 Snow Day. This shoe is definitely out there, and the reason I say that is because most Monarch 4s sell for 60 bucks. This Snow Day variation, however, actually sells for 120, which is double the price, and I don't understand why. It's got a translucent outsole, it's got some orange accents, it's got a couple different embroidery details, but that's it. It's the same exact sneaker that dad's been wearing for decades. I don't understand it. With that being said though, I'm probably still gonna buy it, but it's too expensive. Because of the weird uptick in Monarch popularity, I think that this sneaker actually has a pretty good chance of selling out. Continuing on to January 4th, we've got three different Realtree camo colorways of the Air Force One Low. The three colorways include orange, brown, and light bone, and overall they're kind of just camo Air Force Ones. If you're a fan of camo Air Force One Lows or you need them for hunting, I guess the only place you could hunt in Air Force Ones is the city, so that's dark. If you like Realtree camo on Air Force One Lows, there you go, there's your shoe. There are three different colorways coming out, so there's a lot of options, and I know camo is bigger than it used to be, but I still don't think there's enough hype behind these sneakers to really push them to sell out. So for that reason, I'm gonna give them a sit. Next up, we've got the first release of the Under Armour Curry 6, the Fox Theater colorway in orange and black. Ever since like the Curry 2, I haven't been a huge fan of the Curry silhouettes. I don't really like the way they look. And to be honest, with the Curry 6, I kind of feel the same way. It's just not something I really want to grab. I have no idea how it's going to perform on court. I didn't watch any of the reviews of the people who got invited to that Under Armour event yet, so I'm interested to see what they say. It is kind of interesting to see Curry go for another low silhouette because of the lack of ankle support, but it's not a bad looking sneaker. It's just not something I want. Again, because this is the very first release of a brand new silhouette, I think there's a good chance that this sneaker might sell out. Following that up, we've got the Adidas Ultra Boost 19 in black and multicolor. Ever since I grabbed my pair of Ultra Boost 19s, I've been pleasantly surprised by the amount of comfort that sneaker offers, but I've still got to say, I just don't love the way it looks. Even though this colorway is a more refined version of the Ultra Boost 19, it's not something that really draws me to the sneaker, and it's not something I'm going to pick up. However, the first colorway of the Ultra Boost 19 was pretty limited, and it did sell out, and there was a lot of people out there who actually really wanted to try the shoe and didn't have a chance to buy it. So because of that lingering interest, I think people might actually be drawn to this shoe, and it might actually sell, which is kind of crazy. And then rounding off January 4th, we've got a sneaker that I'm actually very excited for, the Game of Thrones Ultra Boost House of Targaryen. This sneaker features a black and like fire red prime knit upper, of course, to symbolize dragons, I guess. I've never seen Game of Thrones, so that's what I'm assuming. The prime knit pattern is pretty similar to a 1.0, so I definitely think that's a plus. And overall, it's just a great looking Ultra Boost, and even though I don't really care about Game of Thrones, I still think it's a great looking sneaker and one that I'm excited to pick up. Because of the crazy hype train behind Game of Thrones, I think the sneaker has a lot going for it, and I think it's probably going to sell. Moving on to January 5th, we've got the Nike VaporMax Plus in blue and red. This is another one of those weird VaporMax hybrids that I'm just really not a fan of. I actually wore a pair of VaporMaxes for the first time last night in like months, and I just forgotten how much I really disliked the way that sneaker felt. And this sneaker for me is no different. I don't like the look of the upper, I don't really love the Air Max Plus, and I definitely don't like the VaporMax outsole. This shoe is just a hard pass. If you are actually interested in grabbing this sneaker, I don't have anything against you. I know some people like the way the sneaker looks, but you shouldn't have a hard time grabbing it because I think it's gonna sit. Continuing on, we've got the Air Jordan 19 in the OG colorway. Even though the 19 doesn't seem like a crazy popular silhouette, a lot of people do actually seem pretty excited for it. In my opinion, it's a little bit of a bland sneaker. I'm not a huge fan of the 19, and I think the white is a little boring. But unlike some people, I'm not nostalgic towards this sneaker, so there's no real reason for me to spend the money on it. But if you like it, more power to you. If you're trying to grab this sneaker, I don't think it's gonna be a hard cop, and I think it's probably gonna sit. And then moving on to January 9th, we've got a silhouette that a lot of LeBron fans are very excited about. And that's the very first public release of the LeBron 3 Super Bron PE. This PE has been a LeBron fan's grail for years, and now it's finally releasing to the public and giving a lot of people who really want this shoe a chance to own a variant of the original. If you're a LeBron sneaker collector or just a LeBron fan in general, this is a great sneaker to have because of the history behind this shoe. However, grabbing it will probably be harder than your run-of-the-mill LeBrons because it's going to be pretty limited and a lot of people really want this shoe. And as you could probably assume by this point, this sneaker is definitely going to sell out. Then on January 10th, we've got two colorways of the brand new Nike VaporMax silhouette, the VaporMax 19. This shoe is releasing in black and gold and white and gold, and overall, as a VaporMax silhouette, it's okay. The upper of the shoe seems to be the only real thing that's changed. I don't think there's been any changes to the VaporMax outsole, but until I get a pair in to review, I won't know for sure. I'm kind of hoping that this new version of the sneaker is more comfortable and doesn't feel like work putting the actual shoe on, but we'll just have to wait and see, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too hopeful. A couple years ago when the VaporMax was hot, this sneaker would have sold out immediately, but now a year or two later, it's kind of just more of the same, and for that reason, I think this shoe is gonna sit. And then wrapping up the first half of the month on January 12th, we've got the women's release of the Air Jordan 4 Hot Punch. This is a bright pinkish reddish patent leather Air Jordan 4, and as much as I don't like this sneaker, I think there's a lot of people out there who really love this shoe. At the end of the day, it's an Air Jordan 4 and it comes in a colorway that a lot of people seem to like. But even with all that, I don't think it's enough to really move this sneaker, so for that reason, I'm gonna have to give it a sit. Next is the release of the yet-to-be-confirmed Air Jordan 6 in Flint. In my opinion, it's kind of just a white and gray Air Jordan 6. There's nothing too special about the colorway itself. And unless people really love this colorway, I don't see anyone rushing out to grab the shoe, so I'm gonna give this sneaker a sit as well. And then unfortunately, rounding everything off with a low note, we've got the Nike Air Force One Mid in fog, black, and green. Not a great sneaker. I know there are probably people out there who love this shoe, but I think a majority of people are probably gonna pass on this sneaker. So of course, I'm gonna have to give this one a sit. But that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on these sneaker releases and if there's any shoes in particular that you're excited for, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.